New Deep Dive.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're plunging into a story well, it's not just about groundbreaking technology, it's really about fundamentally reshaping how we all connect globally. We're talking about the extraordinary journey of SpaceX's Starlink. And our mission in this deep dive is to pull out the most important insights from all the research you've shared with us. We'll be looking at Starlink's incredible successes, the challenges it's faced, its innovations, and, yeah, the profound impact it's having on everyday lives all around the world.
Yeah, this topic really stands out because it blends, incredibly audacious engineering with these immediate real-world consequences for millions of people. And those recent dramatic events surrounding Starlink, they definitely offer a captivating way into our discussion today.
Okay, so Starlink.
Yeah.
You see the name pop up everywhere. But beyond just being, Elon Musk's satellite internet, what exactly is this system, and why is it so significant? I mean, we understand it's this rapidly growing network of advanced satellites. SpaceX launches them into low Earth orbit.
Exactly. And the fundamental goal here is, well, transformative. It's about globalizing communication and internet access, connecting areas that were, frankly, completely unreachable before. Just think about the kind of impact that has for communities, who've never had reliable internet.
Right, and here's where the story really picks up steam. You've shared details about a very recent event just a few weeks ago, early Saturday morning, 5:71 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time.
Yeah.
A Falcon 9 rocket launches from Cape Canaveral, Florida, carrying 28 new Starlink satellites. Must have been quite a sight. And apparently more dramatic because of what had just happened a couple of days before.
Yeah, that particular Falcon 9 booster, the one designated B1078, it's quite the veteran. It had already flown 22 previous missions. That includes supporting human spaceflight, other satellite deployments, lots of Starlink flights too. This isn't just like an impressive number. It really speaks directly to SpaceX's whole commitment to reusability. It's radical. Every time one lands successfully, like this one did on the drone ship, a shortfall of gravitas out in the Atlantic, well, it dramatically lowers launch costs. Which is exactly why they can deploy so many Starlink satellites so quickly. It's a fundamental shift in space economics, really.
And as you mentioned, this incredible launch actually came at a, let's say, very tense moment. Because just 2 days before that launch, Starlink faced its most severe outage ever. It impacted users worldwide. It was the longest and most widespread disruption in the project's history. We're talking over 60,000 users reporting a complete loss of service at its peak. And that's roughly 65% of all active Starlink users at the time. Huge.
Wow. An outage at that scale. After all those successful deployments, all that operational experience, what exactly went wrong there? How does that happen?
Well, surprisingly, it came down to a routine software update, something aimed at improving inter-satellite communications. Now, when we talk about inter-satellite communications, we mean how these thousands of satellites are constantly talking directly to each other up there in orbit. They form this powerful mesh network, routing data without always needing constant ground stations. Very efficient. However, it seems a single faulty command triggered a sort of cascading failure. It just propagated through the network nodes. And that led to, well, near total paralysis of services. The impact was pretty far-reaching, not just home users losing Netflix, right? We're talking critical operations, Ukrainian soldiers on the front lines, airlines relying on it for in-flight Wi-Fi, maritime operators who need that long-distance connectivity.
And Elon Musk himself, he addressed it on X, right? As your sources point out. His transparency was certainly striking. He called the incident embarrassing but fixable, explained the whole chain of events. That kind of candid communication, plus the swift recovery, it definitely seemed to help restore confidence. But, for a network that's become so critical, especially for users like those on the Ukrainian front lines, does one candid tweet really address the underlying questions about network robustness, reliability going forward?
That's a really crucial point. I mean, while transparency is valued, sure, the incident does raise questions about the inherent fragility, maybe, of such a vast interconnected system, and what are the long-term implications for critical infrastructure that comes to rely on it. Yet you have to look at the other side, too. The fact they went ahead with that scheduled satellite launch just hours after getting network functionality back, that underscores an astonishing level of, let's call it, operational resilience. It sort of signals a belief, perhaps, that this was an anomaly, quickly diagnosed, understood, not some deep systemic flaw.
And that operational resilience, it's clearly reflected in the astonishing scale they've already achieved with this constellation. The numbers are frankly dizzying. As of mid-June 2025, the total number of Starlink satellites launched, it's reached 8,884.
8,884. And to put that in perspective, In just 5 years of operational deployment, roughly, SpaceX has been responsible for about 13% of all satellites ever launched, since Sputnik 1, since 1957. Even more impressively, maybe, the Starlink network now represents 65%. 65% of all active satellites orbiting Earth. It's by far the largest, most advanced satellite fleet ever assembled. So this
Wow.
isn't just about internet access anymore, right? It's a fundamental shift in who controls and operates the most significant infrastructure in low Earth orbit.
And they're not slowing down. The plans call for nearly 12,000 satellites eventually, and they even talk about possibly extending the constellation to, what was it, 34,400 objects. This really brings up a bigger question, doesn't it?
Oh, it certainly broadens the discussion considerably, yeah. I mean, space. It was once largely the exclusive domain of state agencies, military programs. Now it's a new frontier for global corporations. And that opens up, well, novel possibilities, sure, but also unprecedented risks and new questions around governance, responsibility in space.
Speaking of novel possibilities,
Yeah.
one of the most groundbreaking advancements detailed in your sources, completed just in June 2025, that's the first generation of these direct-to-cell satellites.
Yes. This is truly revolutionary. What these satellites do is allow even unmodified, standard smartphones, just the phone in your pocket, to connect directly to the satellite network, completely bypassing traditional cell towers, traditional infrastructure. Imagine that. No special equipment needed, just your phone.
And the numbers really highlight the speed of this rollout.
Yeah.
You found 661 direct-to-cell satellites launched so far, with 273 of those just deployed in 2025 alone.
Exactly. And the dramatic impact here is clear. This expands voice calls, data services to previously unreachable areas. Think of those vivid examples you mentioned. Residents of remote villages in the Sahara, maybe. Fishermen working way out in the middle of the ocean. Travelers crossing the most inaccessible mountain valleys in the Himalayas. They can now use their smartphones just like people in, London or Tokyo.
So this effectively eliminates, or starts to eliminate, many of those barriers, the ones that until recently divided the world into the haves and have-nots of fast internet. It feels like a huge step forward for global equity. But okay, while this sounds like a massive win for equity, what are the unseen challenges? Or maybe even new divides that might emerge from this kind of radical shift in global connectivity? Does this just completely disrupt traditional telecom providers? What are the geopolitical implications when essential services bypass national infrastructure, potentially consolidating control in just one company?
Those are absolutely critical questions. The immediate benefit is, well, undeniable for many. But it also forces us, to consider the long-term implications for local infrastructure, for competition, even for national sovereignty. It's complex. And, stepping back, each Starlink satellite itself is just a marvel, designed with incredible automation. It's the result of collaboration among hundreds of experts, engineers, software developers, rocket builders, mission controllers. It's a huge undertaking.
And underpinning it all is that Falcon 9 rocket, designed, manufactured at SpaceX HQ in California. It's currently the world's most frequently used and most efficient orbital rocket. Just incredible. Thinking of that whole sequence, the synchronized ignition, the multi-stage flight releasing dozens of satellites way up at 550 kilometers altitude, and then that signature first stage coming back down for that perfect landing.
And once they're released, the satellites, they initially cluster together. You see those videos, looks like a Starlink train across the sky. Before they gradually disperse to their assigned orbital slots, the technological challenges at every single stage. The design, the operation, collision avoidance. They use advanced AI algorithms just to track millions of pieces of space debris,
Right.
And the intricate network management. It's immense, all while maintaining constant communication with SpaceX mission control.
Which brings us back again to that significant outage. It seems every phase of Starlink's development, its operation, includes learning from errors, making adjustments. That incident from June 2025 really exemplifies the difficulty, doesn't it, of maintaining coherence in a network made of tens of thousands of independent yet collaborative devices zooming around the planet.
Absolutely. And while it was apparently quickly diagnosed and repaired, the incident certainly raised important questions about the stability of these complex satellite-based global networks. It really underscored the critical importance of having immediate response capabilities ready to go, especially when millions, including those in really high-stakes situations, depend on that uninterrupted internet connection.
Okay, so let's zoom out then to the broader implications. On the positive side, the sources are pretty clear. Fast, reliable internet is genuinely transforming lives.
Yeah.
Whether it's, farmers in Africa getting access to market prices for the first time, or entrepreneurs in South America building new businesses online, Doctors conducting emergency consultations in disaster zones. Students in remote areas finally getting an education that just wasn't possible before.
True. But this massive project also prompts some really important considerations. Concerns, even. You have astronomers, for instance, expressing worries about increased light pollution from just the sheer number of satellites reflecting sunlight. Other satellite operators, they worry about the growing hazards of orbital collision. More stuff up there means more risk. And environmental advocates are raising alarms, too, about possible long-term impacts on the whole space ecosystem. We don't fully know.
And it's worth noting, your sources mentioned SpaceX is making considerable efforts to mitigate these issues.
Right. They talk about work on new satellite designs that reflect less light, blacker coatings, different orientations, and these active deorbit programs designed to safely remove defunct satellites by letting them burn up completely in Earth's atmosphere. That helps reduce the space debris risk significantly. Yeah, and look, no technology, especially one on this kind of scale, is ever without side effects. That's just reality. The fundamental question this raises, I think, is will Starlink ultimately stand as a symbol of a new, more connected, maybe better world? Or is it the beginning of a kind of uncontrolled expansion in near-Earth orbit? How humanity balances these incredible benefits with the potential risks. That's what will really define its legacy over time.
What an incredible deep dive into Starlink.
Yeah.
There's just no denying the sheer audacity, the unique vision behind this whole story.
Yeah.
It really is a tale of crossing boundaries, isn't it? Both the visible ones, like our planet's atmosphere, and those invisible ones, like the fear of the unknown, or those digital divides that have separated communities for so long.
Indeed. And think about it. In just 5 short years, really, from the very first operational launch to where we are today, SpaceX and Starlink demonstrate what vision, what determination, and what sheer technological excellence can achieve. It kind of makes you wonder, perhaps exploration's true meaning isn't just about traveling through space, but maybe it's about transcending the limits of our own imagination and maybe human potential itself.
That's a really powerful thought to leave you with. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into the complex world of Starlink. We hope you feel a little more well-informed, maybe have some new questions to ponder, and we definitely invite you to continue exploring the fascinating world of science and technology with us in future deep dives.
Subscribe. New Deep Dive. Subscribe. New Deep Dive.